Welcome to We Fix Games. I am one of your hosts, Laura.
And I am your other host, Jerrica, who's never seen High School Musical.
Oh, yeah. This is a podcast where I play a game and Jerrica fixes it. And today we are fixing Telltale's The Wolf Among Us.
Which is different from The Wolf on Wall Street, I assume?
Yes, because I've never seen that movie.
I never either.
Is it a book first?
I don't know.
I never seen or read The Wolf of Wall Street.
I mean, it's about, like, shitty dudes doing shitty things, so...
The Wolf Among Us is about also shitty dudes being shitty things, so I guess it's like the same thing, yeah.
Oh, there we have it.
So before we really get into the game, just a big disclaimer that everything is going to be super spoiled. So if you haven't played this game and intend to and don't want it to be spoiled, maybe play it and then come back. Because maybe you'll have noticed the things that also need to be fixed. And will feel validated when people fix them.
The important thing is that you do come back to finish this episode.
We'd love for you to come back.
Don't just not listen to it and not play the game either, because then that's just no good for anybody.
Yeah. If you can only play the game or listen to this, listen to it.
Yeah, 100%.
Also that this episode is going to be about the game and not the comics, so I'm so terribly sorry if I point out a plot hole or something, and the answer is I have to read the comics. I read some of the comics, but like a decade ago, and this episode is about the game.
Okay.
So,
sidebar, who did the comics?
Bill Willingham. I have some of the comics.
Who are they published under?
DC?
No, I'm
or Dark Horse? It's the comics. It's called Fables.
Oh!
Vertigo. I was very. Oh wait, no. DC Comics Vertigo.
Well, Vertigo's an imprint within DC that they do the more like sort of mature stuff. That's where you're gonna find Constantine and the Sandman.
Okay.
And I just realized how fucking nerdy I just got.
Wow, no nerds on this podcast.
Okay, so this is a game based off of Fables?
Yeah.
Okay, I have read some Fables a long time ago.
Oh, nice.
But so long ago that I don't remember any of it, so I guess it's not really relevant.
Playing the game made me want to go back and reread them, because I never actually finished either.
Always finish, Laura.
I know. I knew that was coming. Yeah, so I haven't read... I read the first one in 2016. Okay, moving on. The Wolf Among Us focuses on Sheriff Bigby.
Oh, okay. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, he is the big bad wolf. Although he very rarely gets into wolf form. There's this whole thing in the game that they're not allowed to show their, like, fable side. So anything that's anyone who is an animal has to, like, glamour themselves, which is what they call just, like, they essentially use disguise self. But
I know what a glamour is, thank you.
For the audience.
Our listeners know what glamour is, too.
Okay, what the fuck ever. But the thing is that glamours are expensive, so some of them just don't use glamours, and they're, like, constantly getting threatened to return to the farm, which we don't get a lot of information about. And it did make me wonder if... I think there's a section in the comics that they talk about the farm, but in the game, they don't really explain anything about it other than it's not funded very well, and it feels like a prison for some reason. So I kind of wish we got more information on that. But just so you understand, before I say something else, Here's a picture of Bigby, so go look in Discord.
Okay.
Okay, so that's Sheriff Bigby. And one of the first things that I realized when I started playing episode 1 a mere like 4 days ago is that Bigby is still hot.
Listeners, you can't see what I just did, but I just turned to look at the camera as if I was on a sitcom and there was the joke and punchline.
Except you looked off camera, so
Well, yes, but I had to turn away and be like, really?
Okay, so he's the villain turned hero type, you know what I'm saying? So he was the big bad wolf, so he blew out the
You and
I mean,
liking
blew
scruffy
down
men, like
I know. I don't know. Um, so anyway, oh, actually the very first thing I noticed is that the music is fucking amazing. So if you are not going to play the game, just look up The Wolf Among Us music because holy fuck, it's a whole mood. So we open up with Bigby is talking to Toad about being glamored. Toad unfortunately is a landlord. And
okay, I know that it's an actual Toad, but I'm picturing the Toad from Mario, and now I'm picturing him
Ooh.
being a landlord.
Yeah, Toad would not do that from Mario. He would be too busy swinging from the chandelier. Damn, okay. I knew there was a low possibility of you getting that. Someone out there understands that, though. And good on you.
Let's hope.
I'll put it in the show notes. It's amazing, I promise. But so yeah, Toad unfortunately is a landlord, which I only realize at the very end of the game somehow. I don't know how, because I love Toad, and Bigby is getting on him because he's not glamored and he's out in the fucking lobby area or something, and Toad is like, "Can you just deal with the complaint that I called you for? Because there's like ruckus happening upstairs." So Bigby goes upstairs and there's the woodsman. Eh, eh. I will get it because Bigby and the woodsman.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So the woodsman is like slapping around some woman, so Bigby puts a stop to it. And
Murdering him?
no. No, we also find out at this point that fables are super hard to murder. So there's this fight and it
Folks,
ends.
let me just take an aside right here. If you any of you out there come across some dude slapping around a woman, the proper thing to do would be to murder him. I'm just saying. So I'm already judging him harshly already. So let that let that sink in.
Don't pick up your mic again. Listeners, the sound you just heard was Jerrica fucking picking up her mic and making a bunch of chord noises with it.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's funny.
I need props
The visual was funny.
to
I just
fucking
also was highly aware of the chord sounds the whole time.
yeah. And I just took a drink of this soda shop made with real sugar Pepsi Cola that I opened last night and is now
Oh my
flat
god.
and tepid
I'm so
because it's
sorry.
right there.
I'm just drinking my essentially ruby red squirt monster over here with a sticky bottom. So yeah, he doesn't kill the woodsman, but he does stop the woodsman. And at this point, I also realize that I want more choices in this game. And it's a hard thing to
Yes,
accept.
choice. Stop woodsman. Let it happen. Kill woodsman.
Yeah, you can't kill the woodsman, unfortunately. There's very little you actually have control of in this game.
Well, maybe that should be the first thing we fix.
So funny that you should say that because wait, is that on my list? No, that didn't make the list. I have a list of 3 things for Jerrica to fix.
Well, that's one of them. Murder should always be an option.
Murder should always be an option. Ooh, that gives me an idea that I should make an additional list of all
I
of
thought you were
the
saying make a
things we
T-shirt
fix.
that said that, because that would be it'd be a good shirt, but like I feel like that would get you in trouble.
Yeah, that's like, I would really love a shirt that says "I'll kill you and everyone you love," but I don't think people would be like, "Ha, Drakir said that." They would be like, "What the fuck? Why is that on your shirt?"
Yeah, now you're gonna be like on a watch list, and
Mm-hmm. That'd be unfortunate. Okay, so the woodsman says something about like trying to get the wolf out, and that's our first hint that Bigby hasn't put all of his wolfy ways behind him. And it's because he can wolf out. It's not a big secret.
oh, okay, so it's not like a metaphor for having trouble getting an erection.
No, it's not. Actually, they don't mention an erection ever in this game.
Okay,
Which,
second thing to fix.
okay. I'm not putting that on the list. Um. Oh yeah. Also, remember how I was like, Big B is hot?
That was literally like 3 minutes ago.
Uh-huh. So yeah, I was like, you know what else is hot? Big B when he has just a little bit of both going on. Just a little bit of both.
Listen, I'm not gonna yuck your yum.
Uh-huh. He gets like these yellow eyes and they'll like, I don't know, his face starts changing shape a little bit.
And he gets a whole musky scent going on.
I cannot smell it. It's a video game. Anyway, yeah, so fables are super strong. The fight ends with an axe through the woodsman's head, and he's fine. And it goes right into his skull.
And he's fine.
He's fine. He just needs to take a long rest, you know? They go out the window, they fall on a car, they tussle some more, and Faith, who is the woman he is slapping around, scurries on downstairs and uses his own axe to just go right into his skull.
Oh, she does.
Hmm.
Okay. Get it, girl.
Yeah. And so not the woodsman,
So
Bigby at
is this sorry, is this girl like a normal person?
no, she's a fable.
Oh.
But the thing is, fables look like normal people a lot of the time. So like you don't automatically
Sure.
know who everyone is.
Okay, so if fables are hard to kill, I guess I'm just having trouble seeing what the point of all of this is.
Their fight?
Everything, yeah.
Oh. So in your mind, if something is hard to kill, there's no point in it.
Well, I mean, you see, like you've seen those movies, those movies,
Oh,
where like
sure.
you have like gods are fighting each other,
Yeah, I
and
can't stand that.
none of them can die. So it's just like fucking they beat the shit out of each other and just get tired. Like, what is even the point?
Yeah, like when fucking I'm gonna get a lot of shit from this probably. When fucking Wolverine and Deadpool have a million fights and they're both incapable of dying. So they just fight for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the majority of the fights in this game, people don't die, but it's to like stop an immediate thing from happening. Someone will be like trying to get kidnapped, and it's like, well, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you until you are on the floor passed out, and then I can get away.
Well, but why even try to kidnap someone if like
People can be
maybe
kidnapped.
maybe I'm taking this game into a way too cerebral level, but like if you can't die, why even fight?
I don't think the majority of fights happen with the intent of death.
Well, then that's people doing it. That's a thing to fix about fights, then, in
I
general.
mean, I've never been in a fist fight, so I can't say for certain, which honestly is surprising considering me, but
I'm not going to comment on that. Um,
just a quick sidebar is that I think my red flag is that I've never been in a fist fight, but I'm like so confident that I could beat the shit out of almost anyone, unless you like go to the gym or something.
and that's why you haven't been in a fight, because you're like, I could, but I
Like,
won't.
yeah,
I'm
like,
showing restraint,
yeah, like I don't
bitch.
need to prove myself. Oh, spicy.
But no. If you do not have the intention to kill a person, you should not start a fight. If you're not willing to go all the way, then you have no business engaging in that fight. That's all I'm saying.
I am so supportive of you in most things.
And that is one of Jerrica's hot takes.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go to McDonald's. You went ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
No, I did.
We should get a jingle for a hot take. Oh, I get it. Hot
This,
like
the
McDonald's. A hot
No,
take
not
like
like
you're serving some hot fries.
McDonald's is not sponsoring this episode, so we should
Yeah.
not give them any free advertisement. Not that they need any free advertisement at this fucking point. Like, does anybody not know what McDonald's is in this whole world? Maybe there's some like people in tribal areas, like in the Amazon and places in Africa that just don't give a shit about McDonald's, but they probably still know about it somehow. Anyway, that was a whole like segment that I just sort of manifested into the podcast world, and we don't even have to do it, but like I feel like it probably will come up again because I'm very controversial.
Your hatred of McDonald's?
It's a love-hate relationship with McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make me feel good. It's not good for anybody, but yet I will still go and I still buy food there, and I got the collector's meals.
Oh my god, they have Yu-Gi-Oh toys there right now. Okay, onto the game. Bigby talks to Faith and tries to like understand why he was there. Apparently, she owes him money and he was trying to get it. But the more they like get into it, she just like stops giving him any information and she keeps saying, "These lips are sealed," which becomes a thing throughout the game.
So what sort of creature is Faith?
Right now, we see Faith as just a person.
So we don't know what her deal is.
Yeah. Big B meets Beauty outside the sheriff office. And she's all like, "Don't tell Beast I was here," but doesn't give any information. So you know there's drama there already. And this is the point where I learned that it has the horrible shifting angle camera that like Resident Evil has, where you'll walk and then it changes angle and then all of a sudden you're walking in a different direction.
Hmm.
So that's a thing we can fix. But that doesn't require a whole discussion. Just make it a better camera. Fixed.
We have the technology.
Inside the office, Bigby comes across Beast, and you have the option to keep the secret of Beauty, or to tell him, or to just stay out of it. And if you choose to stay out of it, then Beast just knows because he's like, motherfucker. And I didn't tell Beast because fuck him. If a woman comes up to me and is like, "Don't tell my husband I'm here," I'm not gonna tell him. Unless I know them and I know that there's like, she's being shady as shit. But I know nothing about them at this point.
I mean, if we go by the fairy tale, like she was captured and then she, suffered from Stockholm syndrome and fell in love with
Mm-hmm.
her captor, and Beast is just a shitty person.
Yeah. And because of that, I don't tell Beast that I saw Beauty. And he's just whining about it. Well,
The two dudes in that story are just the fucking worst. We got Gaston and the Beast, and they're both shitty, and Belle should have killed them both and
Killed them, wow.
taken over the castle herself and fucking run that town. And taken on some lesbian lovers.
Yes. Bigby goes home and sees Colin the pig. I love Colin the pig, and there's like references to how Bigby blew down his house. And so they're friends, but also Bigby is somewhat indebted to him because he did blow down his house. And so Colin the pig is not glamored, so should technically be at the farm. So you have the choice to send Colin to the farm or not. And if you send Colin to the farm, fuck you. I love Colin, and he should get to stay with Bigby. And they're best friends.
And lovers?
I think that would be bestiality, so I'm gonna go with no to that one.
That'd be bestiality. It's a wolf and a fucking pig. They're both.
Okay, Bigby would have to go into wolf form though.
I mean, listen, he is a wolf. No matter what, like what he looks like right now,
I
he
would be
is
more
a wolf. Wow, I feel like that could be just the justification for just about any
Yeah.
weird sexual thing. That's gross. So
Okay,
let's
if
moving on.
Colin was glamored to look like a human, I think it would work. Then it would just be two human men.
Which is perfectly fine.
Yeah. So
Okay, this got awkward. So let's just continue.
okay, so Bigby, I have to believe, does not have a bed because he sleeps on his fucking chair. And this isn't like, oh, I was watching TV and fell asleep. He kicks Colin off the chair so that he can go to sleep for the night. That has really no impact on the story, but I just thought it was ridiculous, so I wanted to make sure everyone knew that.
Well, I mean, judging by the look of this guy,
Mm-hmm.
he's probably like, does he drive a pickup
He
truck?
does not drive a car.
Okay.
He seems to get to places very quickly, though.
Like, he just looks like the kind of guy that would sleep on a chair.
Yeah, I mean, he does, so good call. Bigby gets called into the office because they found something. Snow, his boss.
Oh, Snow is his boss.
Mm-hmm. Snow tells him to keep quiet and they want to get this done before people start waking up. And she brings him out to the front porch and lifts up a jacket and it's Faith's head. Yeah, Faith from the beginning. Her head is on the porch.
Is it her house?
No. Someone put it there.
Sending a message.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is why you should have killed the woodsman.
The first time I played this, I literally turned the game off at this point. I was so devastated. I was like, I just got this woman killed because I did not kill the woodsman.
I realized that this probably wasn't the woodsman, and then you're supposed to think it was, but
Yeah. This was also the first game that I played on Steam. So this was the first time playing any sort of game like this, and I severely overestimated how much impact I could have on this story. Because the truth is, you cannot have very much impact on it. Most things play out the same.
yeah, and that's sad. I've never played a Telltale game, because it seemed a little boring. I'd rather just watch the story, especially if you have little impact on it, right? Like, I
Yeah.
don't know. I get it. It's supposed to be like a choose your own adventure sort of deal, but yeah.
See, I think for like The Walking Dead, also by Telltale, you have a lot more control over things like relationships, who lives and dies sometimes, outcomes heavily depend on what you decide. But I think for The Wolf Among Us, it's just a different type of like, there is a right or wrong answer with your dialogue often because you are trying to solve the case. So I think it's just a lot more game than something like The Walking Dead, which is a lot more choose your own adventure. If that makes sense.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I totally see what you're saying. Like, I know a lot of people wouldn't like games like this. But the music is so good. The music is what tricked me into it in the first place.
Tricked you?
Mm-hmm. It got me to buy it. It was the first game I played or bought and played on Steam. They go back to the office. We meet Crane, who is Ichabod Crane. He's a complete ass.
Aw.
Yeah. So he talks down to Snow, he talks down to Bigby, he talks down to everyone and acts like he's fucking amazing. And we have to talk to him, unfortunately. After we talk to Crane, really after we get talked down to by Crane, we go and talk to the magic mirror. We have apparently stolen the Wicked Witch's magic mirror from Snow White. There's an option to see Faith's dad, and they show him, and he's very skeletal. He's been dead for so long. But then when you say, show me Faith, it says, like, you can't see Faith, and he says, these lips are sealed. Which is very sus. Because...
And very aggravating.
Yes, it is. They talk to Buffkin, who is a green monkey who I think is supposed to be one of the Wicked Witch's monkeys. That's just me assuming. They don't actually say that. But he's drunk all the time. But he does help. He gets like books and shit.
Fly?
He flies, yeah. He flies very
Okay.
crookedly because he's drunk.
Because he's drunk all the time, yeah.
Yeah. But he's a great guy. And he gets the Book of Fables. There's like they put it out on the desk so you can just like view it, and it's this big book of fables where it has like all the characters in it, and like Bigby has commentary on it. So that's pretty cool. Faith is in the Book of Fables. And Buffkin finds her entry, and it talks about her being donkey skin, which is, I think, a lesser known fairy tale. I have trouble difficult. Wait. Anyway. The story behind Donkey Skin is that her dad was gonna marry her.
Gross.
Yep.
Let's just start out with the worst thing.
I just ripped the band-aid off. Because she is the only person who matches the beauty of his wife, which is what he vowed. I think the wife died. I'm so sorry, I didn't write it down. I think that's what happened. And so to get out of that, she started wearing this donkey skin and disguising herself to be ugly. And everyone was like, wow, you fugly. And so she didn't have to marry her dad, which is great. And then eventually, this dude, Lawrence, Prince Lawrence, was like, I love you anyway. And they got married. And then she could stop being donkey skin.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
As an aside, listeners, Donkey Skin, the original tale, was written by Charles Perrault, who also wrote several. He was a French writer. He also wrote several other fairy tales, including Little Red Riding Hood, Cinderella, Puss in Boots, Sleeping Beauty, and Bluebeard.
Which, like, half of those are in this.
Yeah, and also, Cinderella is a story that actually pops up in several different places at several different times. Like, there's a Chinese tale that is essentially Cinderella. So that it's very interesting that apparently is a universal concept of like, yeah, let's treat our stepchildren like shit.
Yay. Is there more horrific things about the Chinese version?
I can't remember. I don't think so.
That's good. They look in the mirror for Lawrence, and they see him in a chair with blood and a knife. So they're a little bit worried about him.
Worried about him, or be like, oh, maybe he killed.
They seem to be much less worried than they should be, because Bigby is like, oh, he might be in trouble, implying that he killed himself, but they're not very rushed to get there. So when it's that moment of like you have a sense of urgency and the game doesn't seem to, and you're just like, can we fucking like go to this dude and see if he's okay? But they don't seem to care.
That wasn't an option. It was just like, oh, let's linger here some more. And
Yeah, they're just like chatting about what to do, and then they get a call, and it's Toad again complaining about someone in the apartments once again. And so there's the first big decision of the game, and it's if you should go to Lawrence or if you should go to Toad. So should you go to the guy who it might have just killed himself, or should you go to Toad who is saying that someone is disrupting the apartments?
well, last time he said that it was ended up being the woodsman attacking Faith.
Yeah. The first time I played this, I did not fully understand what they were implying about Lawrence, so I went to Toad, and Lawrence died, and I was like, oh well. This time playing it, because I was trying to make the opposite decisions from last time.
Mm-hmm.
This time I went to Lawrence first, and you can save Lawrence. He's only mostly dead, because he's a fable, so they go to him and they think he's dead, but then after a bit of investigating, they're like, holy shit, he's alive. So you can save him, and he did try to kill himself, but he failed because we saved him. Yay. But
He's probably pretty pissed about it.
well, he seems they did not give a lot of time to Lawrence, and so he doesn't seem to be anything about it. He
Why did he try and kill himself?
he tried to kill himself because he and Faith had been separated, and Faith essentially had to keep like bailing him out of shit, and he felt bad and felt like Faith deserved better, and he felt like this was the only way because she would take care of him without him asking her to. So he felt like this was the only way to free her of him. But then they have to tell him that Faith died, and he's like, "Oh no," because he still loves her.
Yeah, I can understand where he's coming from on that one.
Yeah. So it's like a really sad and tragic story that we just don't get into very much. We just don't address it a lot. So
Well, if we're going to have a game, folks, where the whole point of it is telling a story about these characters, you can get into it.
while they're at the apartment and they get interrupted, someone is trying to break in, and they decide to hide until that person gets in to see what's going on because they think that there's something bigger going on, right? So they're like, well, we want to see what this person is up to. And so they get in the closet, and this guy comes in and is looking around and shit, and they're like, what is he doing? But then it turns out that Lawrence had picked up a gun from the floor that he had used to shoot himself with. Yeah, by the way, the reason that he survived is because he doesn't know where his heart is, so he aimed wrong. Lawrence, I'm assuming seeing this as his only opportunity, picks the gun up and puts it to his head. So you have the option of stopping that, so I stopped it. And then
Hold on. So you go to and save Lawrence,
Mhm.
and then while you're there saving Lawrence, someone like comes in,
Mhm.
and so you decide, not you, but like the characters
Mhm.
decide, oh, we are going to hide.
Mhm.
And does Lawrence hide?
No, Lawrence pretends to be dead.
So as soon as the Bigby and Snow hide, he picks up the gun and tries to shoot himself again.
He waits around for the person looking around the apartment until that person like is not in his line of sight. Or until he's not in that person's line of sight.
Okay.
Yeah. So I bust out, we chase that person, we find out that's Tweedledum or Tweedledee.
Yeah,
We can't tell them apart.
they're the same.
Um, Big B is all like intimidating one of them, and then the other one comes up behind him and they knock him the fuck out. So after that, they wake up and not having anything else to do, they're like, let's finally catch up with Toad. So they go to Toad's apartment, and Toad is acting rather fishy about things and trying to make it seem like nothing happened. And after some investigating, we also meet TJ, who is Toad's son, so I'm assuming it's Toad Jr. TJ is the cutest kid in the entire world and is voiced by Melissa Hutchinson. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering that last name. Who also voices Clem on The Walking Dead, which is amazing because everyone loves Clem. I'm so sorry, I forgot. After I looked this up, I found not only does she voice TJ, but she voices Snow. And their voices are just so completely different. Like, I would never have noticed that. Another crossover is that Lee from the first season of The Walking Dead also voices Bluebeard in this. And he actually sounds like Lee. But back to Toad and the apartment.
And that was our obligatory voice actor nerd out.
I mean, yeah. I assume Driana's gonna be watching this, so if I didn't mention it.
Nobody's watching this.
I know,
except for you and me.
as soon as I said it, I knew you were gonna call me out on it.
If somebody is watching this right now,
Get off my Discord, you freak.
we should be worried.
Yeah.
Because that means someone's in our room.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, not our room, like we share a room, our respective rooms.
Yeah. You don't know.
We are in different places,
you don't know what
listener.
we do at night.
This is also true.
We catch Toad in his lie and find that the other Tweedle had been here and smacked him over the head with a fire poker? What's that thing called? Okay, is it a fire poker? Jerrica's nodding vigorously as she drinks out of her Dr. Pepper. And the Tweedle threatened to kill Toad Jr. if Toad said that he was here. So Bigby and Snow have to promise to not tell anyone that Toad spilled the beans. But they also get...
About what?
About the Tweedle being in the apartment.
Okay.
Tweedle doesn't want anyone to know that he was there.
Why?
I'm gonna be so honest, Jerrica. I didn't write it down, and I don't remember.
Like, this all seems very convoluted.
That's kind of what I felt throughout this whole thing, is that sometimes I was like, wait, why are we doing this? It's a type of game that's like one thing leads to another, leads to another, leads to another, which I know is a format that a lot of people enjoy. I don't enjoy it very much because I have a hard time keeping track, but I love the characters so much that like that overcomes that for me. Except for one important character that we'll get to after this is over, which is your job to fix. I've written down 3 things that you have to fix.
I should have written down more things that need fixing, but I already said them, so technically I did write them down with my voice.
Yeah, exactly. So we go to the Trip Trap, which is a bar, and beat the shit out of Grendel, I guess. In the first 2 times that I played this, I've played this now 2.5 times. Yeah, I know. What?
Okay.
Yeah. the first 2.5 times, no, fuck. I played this 2.5 times, and the first 2 times that I played this, I did rip Grendel's arm off.
That was that was an option?
Yes, because you're fighting.
So, okay,
His
hold
name
on a
is Gren.
second.
Mm-hmm.
You get an option to rip Grendel's arm
Yep.
off, but you don't get an option to fucking kill the woodsman?
Correct. Yeah, so it's really terrible. You're fighting with Grendel. His name is Gren in this. You're fighting with Gren, and he's clearly like he's done with the fight. Okay, if you leave him alone, he's just gonna be fucking passed out.
You go to this place and just pick a fight with this dude?
No, he picks a fight with you. Yeah, I probably should have said that, but I got really excited about the arm ripping off part. You go to the trip trap because you think the woodsman is there. So you're trying to find the woodsman because he's a suspect in the Faith murder.
Mm-hmm.
I did also choose a game that is very complicated for how my mind works.
That's okay.
So they're all friends, and they don't want you to find the woodsman. So it escalates.
Oh, that's pretty sus.
Yeah. They keep saying like he's not here, but like there's a bunch of evidence he's here. Like there's a cup out on the counter with no one drinking it, and this is like a fucking empty ass bar. Okay, Gren and Holly are the only 2 people in the bar. So you get in a fight with Gren, and he's so beaten up and done with the fight, but there's an option to rip his arm off, and my first time around, really wanted to see what that would be like, so I ripped the arm off. Except the thing is that these type of games like to torture you for your choices, so it had to be like, no, press these buttons to finish ripping the arm off, and you could like.
Oh, a fucking quick time event? Are you serious?
You have all the time in the world. It will let you take your time because you have to come do it. And the whole time he's screaming in agony. And I was like, wait, no, I take it back. Don't rip his arm off. It's too late. You have to. Because you made the choice. So this time I didn't rip his arm off. Yay! Yay me. So this scene is an example.
I'm still just trying to like understand why that choice is there.
Mm-hmm.
Telltale, if you're listening to this, and I know you're not, but if you're listening to this, I would like you to explain to me why you did this.
Yeah.
Why did you put a choice of randomly ripping a guy's arm off and then spending the time to code the whole secondary like sequence where you have to actually do it?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm pretty sure Laura's about to tell me that that arm really doesn't make any impact on the story.
Mostly it's just if Gren hates you or not.
Yeah, see? Either make it relevant to the story, like you need the arm later on or some shit. Leave it out, or just have the option to rip everybody's arm off.
Ooh. He is the big bad wolf.
Yeah, like you go over to fucking, Pinocchio and like
Pinocchio? Okay.
rip his arm off. Like, okay, I was just going to buy a soda from him or whatever because he runs the malt shop. I don't know. This is just what I'm assuming. But
Pinocchio is mentioned in a note. He doesn't make an appearance, but there's a note that someone is like begging for their AC to be fixed, and they're like, Pinocchio is splintering.
okay. Another thing we need to fix is that every game should have a Pinocchio in it.
Are you saying it like that on purpose?
You know that I am.
Okay. I don't know.
I can't say it any other way now.
Ohio. I don't know what they do there.
No, this is all Clint McElroy's fault.
Oh, okay.
And if you don't know what that means, go listen to the Adventure Zone.
It's really long.
You heathens.
Oh my goodness.
Specifically the versus Dracula, which I just finished.
Oh, well.
And it was fucking hilarious.
Okay. After we either rip Gren's arm off or leave it on, the woodsman walks out of the bathroom. So
Listeners, I just hung my head.
yeah.
So he was just fucking peeing this whole time?
Yeah.
And these guys are just being assholes just to be assholes?
Oh yeah,
Like,
a lot of that happens.
He's not here, man. Like, meanwhile the dude's like, oh my God.
A lot of that happens. So I'm about to arrest Woody, but then all of a sudden from the other direction, Tweedledum walks in. And he's saying, okay, who can tell me about a girl named... And then he sees Bigby, so he doesn't even say the name. And your second big decision happens. Are you going to run after Tweedle, or are you going to run after the woodsman? And
run after fucking Tweedle, because there's something really fucking sus going on with these two dipshits.
Yeah, so the first time I played this, I ran after the woodsman because I was still not really understanding how the game worked and was convinced that he had killed Faith. I was convinced still that my decision had killed Faith. I didn't realize, the way the game works. So in this one, I ran after Tweedle. And we arrest him, so that's all fine. We're going back to the offices. And there are a bunch of police lights and blockades and police officers, and Bigby shoves his way past to look at what they're all protecting and sees on the porch, just like Faith was, Snow's head.
So hold on. You chase after Tweedle, and in doing that, you come across this scene?
Oh, this scene happens either way. This is just when you're going
No,
back.
I mean, you chase Tweedle, and then what happens there?
Oh,
you get him?
Yeah, you get him. You chase him down and you arrest him.
Okay.
Bigby likes to punch people.
And rip people's arms off, apparently.
Yeah. This time when I was playing the game, I purposely chose every option that was the most civilized thing I could do, and people were still telling me I was too violent, so... there's nothing Bigby can do, I guess.
I mean, he is the big bad wolf.
So don't freak out when I say this, because that was the longest episode, but episode 2, Smoke and Mirrors. That was...
How many episodes are there, Laura?
There are 5 episodes.
Jesus fucking Christ.
But after this, my notes are much more abridged. Because I realized I was way... a lot happened in the first episode. All the other episodes are much easier to summarize.
Okay.
We're gonna cut it there. Part 2 will come out in 2 weeks. In the meantime, you can chat with us over on Instagram and TikTok. You can leave a comment on YouTube. You can join our newsletter for when our first email goes out. There's going to be a blog on our website, which is wefixgames.net. If you want to get in touch with either of us personally, I am also on Instagram and TikTok at Glomdy. Jerrica, where are you on Instagram? Because we convinced you to make an Instagram account. And by we, I mean both of us.
Yes, indeed. I am at Jerrica Sparkle Lady on Instagram. And we also have a Discord server.
We do.
You can find that on our website.
Or in the episode description.
I've been Jerrica.
I've been Laura.
And remember, life is too short to play a bad game.